This is our video for Marketing 4500 Section 1 for Fall 2016. Our country is Mexico and our product is California wine. This is by Quan Chen, Angel Contreras, Nancy Gomez, Marlene Guerrero, Tafshinder Gal King, and Evelyn Rumbo. Mexico is rich in history. It was conquered by the Spanish, which shaped Mexico's religion. Mexico has many different topographic regions. Its climate is also variable. Families have strong bonds, and the religion in Mexico is Roman Catholicism. Mexico's living conditions vary, and the housing has room for improvement. Many citizens live below the poverty line, and Spanish came to Mexico from Spain, which have many indigenous languages that are still spoken today. The Mexican economy has been continually growing. Mexico is now among the top countries in science and technology development. Big foreign direct investments come in manufacturing sector. Mexico is the third biggest U.S. outsourcing market. There are large differences in wealth distributions between rich, middle class, and the poor. An attractive market for foreign businesses due to the relatively low trade regulations. Mexico media is expected to grow by 2020. Mexico is the most populous Spanish-speaking country Latin America after Brazil. Originally, the target market for wine producers were baby boomers. Lately, they've been switching it over to millennials. Millennials are those who are born between the years of 1977 and 2000, which varies from article to article, and are also known to be as Generation X. They're known to have money free will and known to be more resourceful. As they enter the job market, they accumulate income, and amongst that, they have the ability to buy wine. Millennials in Mexico are also known to be similar to the millennials in the United States. They spend their time on social media, on their smartphones, and more. Since they're also able to have access to the internet, they're able to have more resources and easily use them to their advantage. Millennials are also considered to be the target market not just for wine producers, but for most companies. The product that will be internationally marketed to Mexico from California is premium wines. Robert Mondavi Corporation focuses on producing premium tasting wines. It offers many flavors and types of wines, red or white. The wine's best feature is that it is created with quality ingredients and is crafted with great density of rich fruit that in the end complements food. The core component of the product is the bottle of premium wine that will be made in California. It will consist of the type of wine and flavor chosen by the consumer. The packaging component of the product that will include the Robert Mondavi Winery brand and logo along with any warning. Finally, in the support services component, Robert Mondavi will have delivers via mail and offer a free charge return for flawed product, ensuring that the consumer get a great satisfaction when choosing Robert Mondavi Winery for their choice of beverage for pleasure. It is a variety of an already existing product in Mexico. They have many wines, but the majority are French. We will be introducing something that has different quality and will target the wealthier consumer in the country of Mexico. In the country of Mexico, the product which will be introduced is considered highly sensitive. It is a high-style and faddish consumer product. The population does not need the wine, thus not an essential need, but instead a luxury. The price is on the higher scale compared to regular essential items. The consumer target is upper middle class. In relation, the product should be accepted and embraced as a good tasting luxury. The relative advantage that the product has over others in the same market is that it is different from all French wine sold in Mexico. The compatibility Robert Mondavi wine is well suited for the targeted population it is intended for. The complexity of the product is very simple and easy to use. Trialability, the product is supported by Robert Mondavi Winery, which offers tours to try their wines and guarantees a refund or replace product that is flawed and not as described when purchased. The observability of the product is very stylish and shows a premium look, which emphasizes the value in the product. We choose Robert Mondavi Winery as our supplier. Robert Mondavi Winery is the most important winery in the United States, and it is also leading position of the whole California wine industry. Robert Mondavi Winery brought to the stainless steel barrels, French oak barrels, and other advanced equipment and low temperature fermentation, natural cultivation methods, and other advanced technologies to the products. In Mexico, the distributors culture with few viable and the distributor margin higher than US more than expect. As a result, the average price in Mexico is very high. Independent retailers like Zaki's provide a good market for companies like Robert Mondavi to sell their wine. By providing wines in all ranges of quality and price category, the retailers are some of the main conduits for the winery to reach its wide and diverse range of wine lovers. In addition, as the internet market grows faster, the Robert Mondavi can sell their wine online and give some promotion. In addition, according to the OECD, Mexico's middle-class population has also accounted for a large proportion of the total population. Although Mexico's middle-class spending growth is slow, it is still steady growth. Expected 2010 to 2020, the Mexican middle-class total consumption expenditure increased by 40%, with the growth rate of the last 10 years. As the growth of middlemen in Mexico, the demand will exceed supply. In addition, Mexico is a traditional market of import-oriented channels. In Mexico, limited supplies of products is sold at high prices to affluent customers. In order to increase the market share and meet the demand of middle class in Mexico, the Robert Mondavi winery needs to adapt the foreign market preference. As a prior experience through the combination of joint ventures, the company has begun producing wine in France, Italy, and Chile. The company has also created a multinational family of brands under the Robert Mondavi Winery in Oakville. Because Mexico is a high-contact society, the best way to promote and sell the California wine is through the combination of joint ventures with the popular Mexico wine brands such as Zinfandel, Don Amado Reposado, Mazel, and so on. In addition, the company can create a multinational with the Mexico local winery. The Robert Mondavi Winery can cultivate the own winery or work with the local winery to cultivate the tasting only for Mexico people. In this way, Robert Mondavi can also expand the business in Mexico. International promotion strategy. Integrated marketing communication consists of advertising, sales promotion, trade shows, personal selling, direct selling, and public relations. We would like to promote our wines through various sales promotion methods. That includes giving out samples at supermarket, closely work with hotels, bars, and restaurants that sell imported wines. We would like to offer free wines for wine tasting events. We can do sweepstakes for each consumer's purchased our wine so they can enter for a getaway to visit our winery. Encoding messages from American culture and decoding it in a Mexican culture is not an easy task. Advertisers face challenges from delivering the right messages into their target market. Our solutions to these challenges are using local ad agency to build a campaign, finding an effective qualitative research team, and avoid using SRC, self-reference criterion. The media mix consists of newspaper, magazine, radio and television, satellite and cable TV, direct mail, the internet, social media, and mobile phone applications. We would like to create a Facebook page that contains our wine list and ideas for a good pairing food. On YouTube, we would like to create content about famous Mexican chefs making food that pairs well with our wines. Also, we will put ads or articles featuring our wines on food, beverage, and travel magazines. Price skimming is when a company tries to reach a market that is price insensitive, while the price penetration method focuses more on stimulating the market and sales growth by deliberately offering products at low prices. However, since our target market is usually price insensitive, if they believe they are receiving a fair value for the cost of the product, we choose price skimming as a component of our pricing strategy. Whether or not to use full or variable cost approach depends on if a product has more fixed or variable cost. In our case, California wine has more variable cost. Cost of production increases as the need for raw materials increases as more units are produced. For example, as we increase wine production, our need for raw materials such as the grapes and labor to cultivate them increases. Therefore, we will be using a full cost approach so that each unit of a product produced has the same uniform price. Parallel markets or gray markets occur when there are price differences that are greater than the cost of transportation between two markets. Since our product is a premium product, we could be subject to parallel imports. The parallel market is when a product is bought and sold outside of the manufacturer's authorized trading channels, usually to other markets that could be charged higher prices. To prevent this, we closely monitor our distribution channel to make sure that all our products arrive to their intended destinations. Price escalation is a disproportionate difference in price between the exporting country and the importing country. To combat some of those costs, we would participate in trade zones and help eliminate or lower tariff or tax costs that could increase the price of our products substantially. As long as our target market feels that our product is worth the higher cost, increased pricing would be less important to our price-insensitive market. Foreign trading zones are free ports to facilitate international trades. NAFTA, or the North American Free Trade Agreement, is a trade agreement where the United States, Canada, and Mexico that allowed the liberalizations of many products by eliminating tariff. Participating in these trade zones could help reduce U.S. tariffs in Mexico and help increase the control on pricing. Another free trade zone is the TPP, or Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is signed by 12 countries: US, Japan, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, Brunei, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Mexico, Chile, and Peru. The pact aims to strengthen economic ties between these nations by reducing tariffs to help foster growth to try and accomplish a single market like that of the UK. By participating in these trade zones, we can have greater control of our pricing for our California wine by reducing outside costs such as tariffs and taxes. Countertrade is a type of transaction in which goods are imported and sold by a company from a country in exchange for the right or ability to manufacture and or sell goods in that country. We will not be using countertrade since California wine has to be exclusively made in California. Because the location of the production holds such a big importance, there is no need for countertrade. Mexico has had an ongoing issue with cartels in the country. These cartels focus largely on the transportation of drugs. Some of the most powerful cartels in Mexico include Sinaloa Federation, who focus on heroin, marijuana, and cocaine, which also holds control of roughly 40 to 60% of the country's drug trade, with earnings at around $3 billion. According to CNN, Jalisco New Generation, who the Mexico government has labeled as one of the most dangerous cartels in the country, Los Zetas, who are extremely violent and make their torture and murder public. Tijuana Arellano Felix, who focus mainly on the drug flow between Tijuana and Southern California, and 3 other cartels. A major reason that these cartels exist to smuggle drugs into the United States, but our product will be exported to them. California wine is not a product that the cartels will be able to make and try to smuggle back into the United States. Wine is not an illegal product, therefore there is no need for it to be smuggled in the way that illegal drugs such as heroin and cocaine are smuggled. Because of the accessibility of our product, we do not believe that the cartels will form formal agreements to set prices, establish levels of production and sales for the participating companies, allocate market territories, and even redistribute profits around California wine. Concluding our presentation, culturally, Mexico is a country that is known to be rich in history, family, and religion. Economically, Mexico is growing and will continue to grow with their investments and strong knowledge in science and technology. Our marketing strategy for California wine is to keep it current and continue to sell to consumers who will have a love for it. Thank you, and this was brought to you by Kyung Chen, Angel Contreras, Nancy Gomez, Marlene Guerrero, Tufshin Jagal Kang, and Evelyn Rumbo.